FHR was founded in October of 2013. Our vets started seeing how well we were turning horses around and started referring horses to us. After a few horses came along, we decided let's just make it official, become a nonprofit, and help on a wider range. We're able to take in horses that most people couldn't because of finances or resources, knowledge, those kinds of things.
Well, certainly anybody would get great satisfaction in seeing horses taken out of poor environments, rehabilitated, and rehomed.
The other thing we do is we allow people to come out and volunteer at the rescue.
We have currently about 30 volunteers, and they help with the daily maintenance of both the surroundings, the property, and the horses.
I get to be hands-on with the animals, and I get to watch them grow. It's not just horses, surprisingly.
Horses, animals in general, are just good therapy all the way around. There's a lot of ways for horses to get into our facility. They can be surrendered, they can be turned over by animal control. Horses are abandoned, and if the owners aren't found, we have to go through a process, and then it becomes legal property. We've only been open for 2 years, so officially we've taken in about 120 horses. We've rehomed about 90 horses. There are a handful that have had to be humanely euthanized because of health issues. We currently have 26 horses. Of those 26, about 19 are available for adoption. Some are permanent residents, and some are still being evaluated. Sometimes we try and just work with owners that don't necessarily know they're neglecting animals, but they are, and a lot of it is just education and resources to put these people in the right direction. A lot of it is diet, grooming, sanitary conditions, having a vet check them and do routine health checkups and dental work and hoof care, and there's all kinds of things that go into dealing with large animals. It takes a lot of money from outside sources. It's been harder collecting donations on a wide scale basis, so a lot of the money does come from personal, friends, family, and of course our own pockets. Sometimes it's a 24/7 job, and there is always something that is a need.
24/7, without breaks, without vacations, without days off. Running a horse rescue takes up almost every minute of every day. It takes dedication not only from our part, but from our family's part. They have to be willing to give up time with us.
There's a lot that goes into it, and my family gives up a lot so that we can do this. Everything is about this horse rescue and taking care of everybody that's out there. Well, I hope for my family that they'll see that, there's always a need for kindness and caring for somebody other than yourself. And when you lend a helping hand, you see the end result, and you see how well these horses have turned around and these animals have turned around, and the help that you provide people that are able to come out and love on the horses and how much it turns them around.
I think most importantly, the rescue has taught my children individual responsibility, and they also get great satisfaction in seeing how the work that they do with the animals pays off when the animals find a new place to live.
That really inspires me to actually do something great in life. It's not only I get to help like the animals, but I also get to see how the family that works here grows as one.
One of the horses that sticks out in particular with me would be a horse that came in named Diamond. She came in from a woman who owned 40 horses. She was a horse hoarder, and suffered from mental illness. They were crammed into about a 60 by 60 area, knee deep in mud. It was unsafe for any horse. She was just fearful, untrustworthy, and extremely thin. So it took us a while. We got her healthy, got her weight up, got her trusting. She is now in her new home with a loving mom and doing wonderful. It's it really makes you happy. It makes it worth it.
The biggest case that stands out to me is still ongoing. We had a horse named Penny that came in to us. She actually came in with another horse named Charming. The first call we received was from a lady who was frantic. When the horses arrived at her property, both of the horses were skin and bones. They had hair that was coming off in clumps. They were just walking skeletons. So she got to the feed store and she found our card on a bulletin board and called us. We came over to see the horses, and one of the horses was laying on the ground at the brink of death. So we loaded the horses up to the trailer, brought them back to our facility, and vet met us out there. One of the horses, the weaker one, he was a gorgeous horse, a little bit older. They had to put him on IVs and get some fluids into him, and we were told that day, let's not feed him, let's just hydrate him. The other horse was a beautiful paint mare, which is a female horse. She had a partial blue eye and the shape of it was a horseshoe. So we called her Lucky Penny. We called her friend Charming because he stuck by her side. Penny was a little bit healthier than Charming was, and 2 days later, after doing everything the vet had recommended and everything that we had seen, he ended up having a heart attack during his first meal, and he died. So my first thought was I was very angry that somebody could let a horse get that horrible. It wasn't fair that we had to take on the responsibility of making this horse feel good for just a moment and not getting him back to full health. We do take some pride in knowing that at least for a few moments he had somebody caring about him enough to try. And we could tell he was thankful, but it still wasn't enough. And with that, we put the rest of our efforts back into his best friend, Penny. We thought at one point she wasn't going to make it either. And then we came out to check on her one night, and she was eating stronger than she had ever eaten and acted like she was still hungry. And that's when we knew that we had a turnaround moment with her. And we had her with us for 2 months. She had put on 327 pounds. All it took was food and a vet that gave her some dewormers and a vet that helped her with her teeth. When you have to take care of them for them to be able to get the nutrients in. There was a lot of rehab work. She was so weak, she couldn't walk without swaying and almost tipping over sometimes. And she finally got muscle forming after getting so many nutrients into her. And she was rehomed not too long ago and gets to live out a retirement life now with a family that has a bunch of other horses. They just want to give animals love like we do, so we knew it was the best fit for her.
It's very important to have that bond, to have that love, to have that connection with the horse, regardless of what the outcome is going to be. Very important. After they've been adopted, I don't handle it very well. I'm usually in tears. It's hard. It's like saying goodbye to a family member, but it's also at the same time a very joyful occasion because we have taken them from where they were to starting a whole new family and a whole new life. And that is so rewarding in and of itself. That's why we do this.
Of course, we're happy for them. They're going to have a permanent home with somebody who's going to give them as much love as we did. But it is a bittersweet. We always miss everybody that leaves. It is my baby. Are you my baby?
She's had so many babies, it looks good.